You know, we're coming to the end of the cloud.
The cloud.
But you know what time that we're coming up on, Matt?
What time is it?
I don't want to start too early, but it's Maui time.
Oh.
Let's go. Everybody, welcome to 2 straight hours of .NET MAUI content, otherwise known as client. My wonderful colleague Dave, who is on Twitter right now on his phone,
actually
is here.
I'm downloading the latest update of the snippets application.
What?
Right here from Naweed. He has been updating snippet. Is this what we've come to? This is it? She got me to wear the shirt, so I told her she had to do something extra. So now this is a beautiful application for all things snippets. So code for beautiful UI. It's both a website as well as now it's a mobile app.
That's
so
cool.
Check that out. It's also free. So if you've got free for contributors. So if you've got a great app idea or XAML or C# UI, submit it to Snippets.
Wow. All right, put your phone away.
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
State of .NET MAUI time.
Yes,
I am
ma'am.
Maddy Montaquila, and when I am not standing on the other side of the studio, I am a PM on .NET MAUI.
I'm David Ortinau. I am also a product manager on .NET MAUI and Xamarin and .NET and all the things that intermingle. And we're here today to give you a State of .NET MAUI presentation, starting with, appropriately, what's going on in Maui. So,
oh my goodness.
Would you like to jump into the last 6 months?
I would love to.
Can you reach the
Tilt
cursor?
this over to me. There we go. .NET MAUI. So .NET MAUI has been released, GA, general availability, for 6 months now.
Yes.
So we want to give you a quick summary of all the amazing things that have happened. First and foremost, you all love it, so thank you. We've really been enjoying watching our usage just grow. That line is going in the correct direction.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, up. That's what we want to see. And not only the actual usage of Maui, but the interest in Maui as an open source project has grown super, super rapidly. So if you look on this chart on the right here, the red line with the circles is .NET Core's star history on GitHub, so since it was open sourced. And the blue one is Maui. So when we started Maui, many, many years later, it shot up to almost the same amount of stars as .NET Core. Within, what's that, 2 years? That's pretty good.
Absolutely. Well, and I think it also speaks to not just the demand out there from companies and developers for something like .NET MAUI, but the popularity of Core itself, because we are built on. This is the unification. This is why we came together, so that we can benefit from all the same performance things that we heard about in the keynote and everything else you've seen really to date so far today.
Did you say performance?
I might have.
That's everyone's favorite word today, so we've heard. There have been a lot of great performance talks, so we would be remiss if we didn't talk about .NET MAUI performance, at least for a second in our State of .NET MAUI. There is another session in an hour and some numbers
Yes.
from one of our engineers about performance. You can check out that same engineer, Jonathan Pepper's amazing blog, MAUI 7 Performance, because since we're part of .NET,
Yeah.
MAUI shipped today with
Absolutely.
.NET 7. So we have a whole new MAUI coming out. Very exciting. MAUI, by the way, not just Hawaiian, but also multi-platform app UI. And with .NET MAUI in .NET 7, you have 51% faster rendering of your pages, which is pretty cool. And one of our benchmarks is the lols per second, the amount of LOLs we can throw up on your screen. And your scrolling's faster. So on the right here, it's the GPU load. So lower bars are better. So you can see with .NET 6, the bars are tall. That means it's not as good. .NET 7, they're smaller, which is better.
And importantly, that faster scrolling was benchmarked and really targeted at lower end Android devices, which is really where this becomes more and more apparent and more of an issue. So in some markets, those devices are more prevalent, and so we need to make sure that we optimize for them, as well as the brand new Pixels and Samsungs and whatever the hotness is on Android these days.
Yeah, that's awesome. And of course, MAUI is not just an amazing SDK and toolkit that you can use to build your mobile and desktop apps, but it also is a complete product lifecycle to get you from writing your code all the way to shipping it out to your customers and all the things that come after that.
Yeah.
So in all of these 5 phases of development, you have developing, testing, building, distributing, and monitoring. There are solutions out there for .NET MAUI, and there are more by the day. We were updating the slide up until the last minute because we keep hearing new things that have been coming out. Of course, with developing, you can use Visual Studio and Visual Studio for Mac 17.4, shipped today, both with general availability .NET MAUI tooling in the stable channel. But you can also use Microsoft DevBox, which is a fantastic new offering, if you hadn't heard about it, from Ignite, where you can actually load up basically like a fancy VM that does the development stuff. It's very cool. Someone on our team actually opened a DevBox on his iPad and then developed an iPad app on his DevBox on his iPad using .NET MAUI. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can develop anywhere you want, of course, and then you want to test. You can use NUnit for testing. And coming soon, we do have App Center support for Xamarin UI Test .NET MAUI. So I know those of you who are waiting for that, hang on, it's coming. We're very excited about it. And then building all of the places you might want to build your app, whether it's Azure DevOps or GitHub pipelines. That's what this blue logo is, by the way. I didn't know what it was. And then I realized it was GitHub pipelines, or GitHub Actions, excuse me. And I was very confused, and now I know, which is exciting. And of course, App Center for building. Distribution, not only to the stores, the Microsoft, Apple, and Google stores, but also to their distribution mechanisms for beta testing. For example, TestFlight with iOS. Google Play has in a beta built in. The Amazon App Store and App Center, if you want to distribute via that. And of course, monitoring your application. So a bunch of companies, all different sizes and shapes, are out there shipping things for how to monitor your .NET MAUI apps. On here we have Sentry, App Dynamics, and of course the Crashes and Analytics SDK from App Center, which is in preview for .NET 7 now. Very exciting. And
you never really know how important, I mean, you know it's important, right?
Yeah.
But you don't think about these things because you've had them for other, Xamarin, for example. But then, we were in the early previews of .NET MAUI, and we're like, yeah, we don't have anything for error reporting. Yeah, you can't publish the app. You can develop it, but you can't publish. And granted, you're a preview, right? So that's just part of the development of the product that you develop with. But this is, this slide is a great testament to the state we're in today. It's a state of .NET MAUI.
State.
That you have the things you need at your disposal to go through the entire DTBDM process.
Yeah.
That's not going to stick. That's not going to
stick. Nice try, though.
Yeah.
And there's way more than just those ones. Our entire ecosystem has been loving .NET MAUI. We have been every day hearing of new packages, new community members, new apps, all these different things. But these are just some of the amazing logos you'll see of open source or otherwise projects that now have support for .NET MAUI. We know for those of you who are on Xamarin, you want to get to MAUI because it's cool and it's awesome, and you've been waiting for some of your packages to get ready for MAUI, and they are. That's part of the reason we GA'd it 6 months ago, so that we could get all of your packages in your ecosystem up to date. So it's pretty cool. Some good ones on here. I don't know. Pretty cool logos too.
I love the Strawberry Shake, for example.
Cool.
That's a GraphQL library. I don't remember what the cats are. Those are different cats. But we've got of course the major component vendors like your Progress Telerik, Syncfusion, Grile, DevExpress, Improgistics, Esri, and on have offerings as well. But there's some new cats on here.
New cats.
And that's what's really exciting to me is that we're not just seeing Xamarin libraries come forward, but we're seeing new innovative players in this ecosystem. So there's been some inspiration ignited with .NET MAUI, and that's cool.
That's cool. And of course, since it's all just .NET and .NET 7, anything that runs on .NET 7 kind of core cross-platform, we don't really call it core anymore.
Yeah.
But that will work in your MAUI app too.
Absolutely. And, some of these, James Montemagno probably is responsible for quite a few on the screen here, mostly the blue boxes, I think. The ones that you can make money through your app and you can rate your app. Once he had migrated those to .NET 6 back in May when that happened, the migration to 7 doesn't really need to even worry about it because your 6 works on 7. So the pain of the Xamarin .NET Framework transition to .NET 6, it's not the same story going from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, et cetera.
Yeah.
It's very smooth. Your upgrade of your .NET 6 MAUI apps, change the 6 to a 7, probably just fine.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to turn your laptop back in your direction.
Please.
And let's talk about some customers that are using .NET MAUI today.
Yeah, so we get asked this question a lot. Who is using .NET MAUI? Can we see any? Because I don't know. And you know what? We sometimes have a hard time as well finding them in the wild, right? You got to crack open a file and do some reverse. We're not going to mess with that.
Right.
But we do talk to a lot of customers all the time about what you and your companies and you as developers for other companies are doing with .NET MAUI. And we've gone through the steps to be able to share some of those stories with you today. Because sometimes you just can't talk about these things publicly. People want to protect their info. So I want to start with first-party apps. So a really cool app here from Alexandre Costas in Brazil. I believe he's based in Brazil, right? But he works for us now. And he made this app during Hack Week for people that are with partial or total loss of vision when you are in need of a volunteer to just help you out for a task that you might have. The canonical task that he presents is, I need to go shopping through the mall. And I'd rather have somebody guide me through the mall than have to do it by myself. And so using this app service that they've built and this accessible app, I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but it's got the focus rectangles around the UI elements and everything. Because it's fully accessible, and .NET MAUI is accessible by default. Shane Newell and Rachel Kang have done a great job on the engineering team working with customers and with our internal validation teams to make sure that our .NET MAUI apps that we test with pass all the certifications, all the benchmarks for an accessible app.
That's awesome.
So you get that by default. And here's one example of a Microsoft team making an app. It wasn't just Alexandre, it was he and others working on this app. Also, the Hack the Hire application is from a group of recruiting and other Microsoft employees kind of in the Atlanta area, I believe. And they saw a need to be able to help find and promote talent from within the Black and Afro-Latinx communities to bring them into Microsoft. We highly value the diversity of perspective as well as experiences and backgrounds. So being able to have teams that really represent that is super important to our culture and to the value of what we build as products. So this is a beautiful app. These screens don't do this justice. It's actually quite a few features. It's a feature-rich app, one might say. And so that's really cool. And I also want to give a mention to, because I've been speaking to some other teams with some more recognizable maybe logos that to you, developers. They are already using .NET and Xamarin. Some of them have done some initial investigation into their transitions to .NET 6, now .NET 7. And we will be working with them to make sure that there is a smooth path for all of them. So this is the Azure mobile app, which is a Android and iOS .NET application. And then the Xamarin Forms app in the middle there, that is the 365 SharePoint admin app. Both get great ratings on the App Store. Highly recommend them if you're not already using them.
Cool.
And then that is the last icon there. I believe it's their logo. If it's not, I just made it their logo, but I pulled it from their website. It's the Microsoft Advertising Editor. So it is actually a desktop application. So I have plans for that desktop application.
So hang on. So you're telling me I can take the 2 hours of cloud knowledge I just used, open up my Azure Portal mobile app, and use a .NET app to provision my .NET services in Azure.
That sounds very good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'll take that.
It is. So these are just a few of the applications within Microsoft using .NET for mobile and for desktop. And so as we have more of these sorts of stories that we can share with you, we certainly will. But that's not all. There are customers, real life customers in the world doing .NET. So am I just talking to all these, or did you want to talk to
this one?
I'm
going to do the next one.
Okay.
We got
That's
this.
Right. All right, I just remember. It's a little back and forth. A little on the fly. That was an audible. We just call it an audible.
Oh, I like that.
Actually, it was. I was tried to call it an audible. She called it off.
Oh.
Technically,
Well,
right?
that's because I'm the boss.
So K2 Klima Campaign is a kind of an environmentalist look at your contributions to eco change. So as you saw, the screens are beautiful. This is an in-production .NET MAUI mobile application for Android and iOS. You can go to the Android store in particular and check this app out right now. Becky signed up for an account this morning and created some screenshots for me. Thank you, Becky, very much. Becky's the newest member of our team. Everybody tell Becky hi when you see her.
Hi, Becky.
And then, Maddy.
Yes, this is a very cool application. So our team, our MAUI team, and a lot of the .NET team, and all of Microsoft, but really .NET, is highly distributed. We're all over the world. We have a couple engineers in the Netherlands.
Yep.
And a couple months ago, we found out that the Netherlands, if you're a citizen, you have an app that you use to do basically like two-factor authentication and verify your identity when you go to use government services, to vote, to do all these different things. And that's actually a Xamarin, now .NET MAUI application. So it's called your DigID, your DigID.
Right, it's a great name.
It's a great name, I love it. And it allows you to identify yourself. There's government stuff, educational stuff, healthcare stuff, and every citizen in the Netherlands uses this app. Every single one, and I think there's something between like 50 and 80 million, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great app, does its job, does it well, and they're continuing on with .NET 6 and now 7, so that's awesome. I want to spend a little bit more time talking about a customer that we've been working closely with, Civica. They're building an application for modern.gov in the UK, and does UK encompass Ireland, Scotland, and all of the above?
Northern Ireland.
I'm so American, I apologize.
Yeah, you are really American.
I'm working on it, growth. And so this application helps facilitate meetings like your chamber meetings, your local officials, the public comes in and says, don't teach this in my schools, and then so they have to take all the notes, and then they have to stream it virtually, and they have to do all the things now in this era. And so that's what this application does. And I asked Connor, one of the engineers there, and amongst his team, like, why are you using .NET, and what is it you like about MAUI? Why are you doing this? Of course, I didn't ask it in such a way that made it sound like I doubted it. Of course.
Of course not.
I didn't want to put words in his mouth. So one of the things that they really do love is this combination of web technologies and native experiences, so they can just leverage more in general. I've given you plenty of time to read the screen. I'm not going to read the whole quote. So here's a look at the app, and so you can imagine your tribunal of six people or whoever
your
on
council
your council meeting. All your counselors doing the meeting, and of course people that might be attending virtually, etc. So this is all digital document management, it's voting, video conferencing, of course it gets recorded, so you have minutes of the meetings and everything. This app runs it all. So big deal, and now they can take it to multiple platforms, and they love using MAUI for this. So it's a very feature-rich app, highly productive for them. I loved seeing the chat in there. I had no idea they were doing chat or the new video conferencing. I think these are features that are yet to come to the existing app, so they're adding on to it. They also said they really like the new handler architecture, the simplified single project structure, because they get greatly increased developer productivity with less time wasted.
That's why we did it.
It is, and certainly we have more work to do there, always cognizant of that, but excited to see more of that coming. Wow, time is flying. And then it's much easier for them to edit native components. It's extremely powerful, so they can get more done with what they have. Maddy, what's happening with Visual Studio?
Oh my goodness. Well, if you've been on any of these social medias today, you've probably seen we had some things ship.
Yeah.
.NET 7, of course, that's why .NET Conf is today, but in my opinion, even better, Visual Studio 2022 17.4. So 17.4 adds support for .NET 7, the same features you've seen before, but even better. We shipped MAUI tooling on Windows with 17.3, and we've actually been able to fix over 80% of the bugs that you have filed on us since we shipped MAUI GA in tooling in Visual Studio in August.
Yeah,
so I had the engineering team Take time off of engineering to pull me that number. I was very, very excited. That means 80% of the things you filed, we are now shipping a fix for in 17.4, which is really cool.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked when you told me that. That's exciting.
Yeah, we're flying. We're flying. But that's not it. We love more than just Windows. We love, of course, a good old Mac as well. Visual Studio 2022 for Mac 17.4 shipped today, and I am really, really excited and very, very proud of the team to announce that we have shipped .NET MAUI support in the stable channel, in the stable release of Visual Studio for Mac, which is a long time coming. So we're really excited. Definitely try it out. Send us your feedback again, because as you can see, we're fixing bugs. Yep. We're flying through the bug fixes. So you can also develop other .NET 7 applications, your web, mobile, desktop, and more. And it runs natively on your M series Macs. So we've been seeing people with Ventura and an M2 and all these different things, all the Mac words and Xcode 14, having a great time writing their MAUI apps.
Absolutely. I've done my darndest to use the Mac almost exclusively. All right, I want to give you a quick rundown of some of the new features in .NET MAUI 7. I am not going to cover them in detail because there are a bunch of sessions coming up. So tooltips. This is where you can hover over any element and expose a little text helper. Ooh. Awesome. Pointer hover, I love this one so that I can just hover over that button and get my background color to change. Thank you so much. Context menus, you can right-click or secondary click, if you will, on any element and get that nice little menu. You can also use that same gesture, but with the tap gesture, and you can right-click. So I've got primary and secondary. That's how you denote your left-click and right-click.
Interesting.
But it's primary and secondary because who knows?
Who knows?
It's not always right-click and left-click.
Do people who use left-handed mice
have
left and right-click?
See? Don't know.
That's a great question.
So this is why we chose primary and secondary, so you can decide.
It's pretty good.
Yes, and then this is you.
Of course, yeah. I mean, we've mentioned Xamarin a few times. Xamarin is amazing. We love it. Xamarin has transformed into .NET MAUI, evolved, if you will. And so we know a lot of you want to get your Xamarin Forms apps up into .NET MAUI as soon as possible because MAUI's awesome. And you get to wear these cool shirts, not included.
You don't have to.
Yeah. But just so you know, there will be a whole session by Sweeky, who's a member of our team tomorrow. But upgrading from Xamarin Forms to .NET MAUI and from Xamarin to .NET 6, 7, and beyond is not a complete rewrite of your application.
Correct. We
just want to make sure you know that there are some changes you're going to make. We're working on documentation. We're working on samples. We've had a couple customers already successfully migrate. And we're also working on the Upgrade Assistant tool, which exists for other .NET workloads today. Mm-hmm. But support for MAUI is in development. You can actually try it out. It does like 50-ish% of the things you might need it to do. Yep. Send us your feedback and we'll continue to chug along on that. But it's not a rewrite.
That's right.
It's not a rewrite.
It's not. So you have time to do that migration, that upgrade. You have support annually. You have 18 months of support for every MAUI release. And Xamarin will soon come out of support, but it's not that soon. It is May of 2024. Cool. So you've got plenty of time. And if you have any blockers or friction points, let us know because we are working actively on that migration assistant or the upgrade assistant and our documentation, which will be coming out shortly. So we want to help you any way we can. There's a lot more content coming up. Check the agenda. Here are day 1 sessions, screenshot, and day 2 and day 3. Lots of great sessions with some MAUI content and or mentions. So make sure that you are there for that. I want to spend the last remaining breaths of this session on a roadmap vision for you.
Well, if you take up the last 7 minutes, then we can't answer any questions. And that's a good thing, probably, for us.
So I want to first do this by recapping. What have we just done? Well, we shipped 6 in May. We shipped 7 today in line with all of .NET. We have unified .NET with a mobile, desktop, and hybrid offering. It's productive development with native APIs and native performance. Maddy, that's not our destination.
Are we going on?
Did you know that?
Are we going to a different island?
This is not our destination. This is only where we begin. This is the foundation for where we are going. So we hear from customers a lot. We need our apps to be where our users are. They might be at a cafe. They might be a field service engineer or a warehouse technician. They might be working in the office or in the house, as it may be, scrolling on their touchscreen tablet. Companies need to be where their users are. And so that's a key reason that we're doing what we do. I want to call back to Satya's quote from the keynote, from
Ignite.
another keynote, where he said that it's really about doing more with less, but did everybody notice that he says they're turning to developers? We have a role to play in this, and that is what we're going to do next. We have some specific things that we have in mind, but I want to leave you with this. If you have needs with your company and you're looking for solutions as a developer, reach out to us. Let us know what those are. We have been doing our own research, and I look forward to, in the near future, being able to share that with everybody, because we have some pretty exciting things that we're doing with .NET and the broader ecosystem.